Hello and welcome to the Rose Rehash. That's right. Every Monday night after The Bachelor, I recap the show, I give out some awards, and then I take your audience questions. If you have any questions tonight, tag at Jared Freid and put them down in the comments. Let me know. We'll pick a few to answer at the end of tonight's episode. And all I'm asking of you is, if you enjoy this show, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit up the like button. If you're getting here the next day, that week, make a comment. Let me know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, because I'm doing much more than just the Rose Rehash on this platform. A week from tomorrow, Tuesday, March 2nd, I am putting out a stand-up special. I taped it in Indianapolis on New Year's Eve, and it is all about 2020, the social anxieties of 2020. It's a special for everyone. I want you to watch it with me a week from tomorrow, Tuesday night, Tuesday, March 2nd at 9 o'clock. I'm going to have a premiere event. I want you to watch it with me. Get your friends together, but I want you to see the trailer. Let's play the trailer. I get a feeling that I am talking about certain things that people genuinely want to laugh at and have fun with. This is such a serious topic, such a serious time, and then everyone's so afraid of offending, and it's like, no, there's a tight wire act that you can do that people seem to want. If I lost 100 pounds and nobody said anything, I would be fucking furious. I would stop everyone and be like, shut the fuck up! I like lettuce now, and that needs to be acknowledged! What's happening, Indianapolis? So Tuesday, March 2nd, 9 p.m., I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can watch it with me. I'll be doing a live Instagram live afterwards, so I want you guys to make it a night, get together with people, FaceTime with friends. It is a special for the reasonably minded. It's talking about socially distance and putting on the mask and what a shitty year 2020 was for everybody. So these are jokes for everyone to enjoy, and it was taped on the last night of the worst year of most of our lives. So let's get into it. It's next week. Subscribe to the page. Let's get to the episode. Tonight's episode, I love the hometown episode. What I love about it is because now we bring in new characters, new people to make fun of. Also, for me, I'm here to make fun of the show. I'm here to make jokes. It's also, we have so many storylines that have built up over the course of the season. Tonight becomes a fun episode to make fun of those things while in a new setting, while with the new family, in a different interaction. So I genuinely love the hometown dates. I also love that you bring people on TV that never wanted to be on TV. None of these parents, none of these sisters, none of these brothers, none of them wanted to be on TV. None of them had that sickness in your head that makes you start your own YouTube show and ask people to subscribe to it. I have that sickness. These people have that sickness. The families do not. So I genuinely love that they come in and they, put on their best makeup, put on their best clothes, and they're like, here I am, Joe Nobody from the Midwest. And we all just sit here watching them legitimately lead a TV show that is being shown in millions of households across the country. There are people that would murder their firstborn to get on ABC on 8 o'clock on Monday night. And these random Joes and Jims and Sarahs and Sallys end up on TV because their daughter was like, I want to go get married in 3 weeks. So I genuinely love this episode. What I will say is, tonight, and this is a theme since the quarantine, since the pandemic, a little bit boring. I wish they would do a little bit different with the hometowns, because what they do is Chris Harrison comes out at the beginning of the show and says to all the women, all your families have been brought here. All of you will get hometowns here at the Nemacolin Resort. We start with Michelle's family. Michelle's date starts with her bringing Matt to a Zoom with all her students. And her students start asking him questions. Are you guys dating? Have you had a first kiss? And We see at the beginning of the show, the theme is going to be that Matt is not very good at being very personal or very honest with any of the questions he's going to be asked. These little kids, they're like 8 years old. They're like, Matt, do you like our teacher? And he's like, well, like is a strong word, and I'm falling in like for your teacher, Michelle. And it's like, if you can't handle little Johnny on the Zoom, how are you going to handle Michelle's dad? And that's what we see. We come back to the house. They're in some sort of like cottage. It's Michelle's mom and dad. They seem like very nice people. Michelle's dad has the silkiest, smoothest voice I've ever heard. I want to fall asleep to it every night. I want to download his voice and hold it next to my face while I nuzzle up to it. It was just a great voice. And they, you know, the dad asks a question. He's like, so do you love my daughter? And Matt does the thing. He avoids. I could be falling in love of a day where love could exist. And it's like, I don't think Matt realizes that the amount of time he's been with these women, the decisions that are going to be made, are way ahead of the timeline he's ever been involved with. They, at the end of the day, they go play some basketball. Michelle's family seems nice and good. Really not much to say. We go to the next date, and that's Rachel's date. Rachel, we've heard a lot of rumors. I've made jokes about it. We've seen pictures. Rachel has been in the news. And in the commercials, they've kind of set up Rachel. Wow, you're going to meet Rachel's family, who we've heard a lot of naughty stuff about. Rachel and Matt go skydiving. The skydiving is fine. Rachel takes a hard fall that she tells her mom. She acts like, you don't know what it's like. You know, this makeup's covering up a lot. And you're like, okay, Rachel, if it was that bad, you should have gone to the hospital. You seem okay. You walked away from it. You didn't break any bones. Let's move on. So they go, skydiving. It's a fine date that they don't really talk at. It doesn't seem like Michelle and Matt have real moments. Rachel and Matt have, we're going skydiving. You're hot. I'm hot. This is crazy. They don't really seem to have much more than just jumping out of a plane. They go to the house. Rachel's dad seems serious. He also drinks a drink from the stirring straw. That was the most unbelievable part of the whole episode. Rachel's dad taking a drink and going, so he seems like a nice guy. Holds up his vodka soda. And it's like, dude, have you drank alcohol before? Are you trying not to mess up your lipstick? What's going on, Rachel's dad? So we have that date. Rachel's family seems nice enough. Her sister's there. The dad the dad asked the same questions as the last dad. He goes, so you're dating 4 women. How do you fall for one woman while you're falling for all 4? And Matt, again, avoids, tiptoes, dances around, jukes, jives. He doesn't really answer the question. He says a lot of top-line things, but never really personal. We go to the next date. We're going to Bree's date. Bree does a little off-roading date, kind of to get him back for the ATV that he literally rolled over the last time they went on a date. Bree, I mean, for the men that are watching the show, for the straight men that are watching the show with you, Bree is a wow. Bree is like an 11 and a half. All these women are beautiful, but Bree, you're like, what's going on? Bree's story is that her mom had her very young. So we're expecting Bree's mom opens the door. She's a year older than me, and she's also, I think, the same age or maybe a year younger than Claire, which is wild and a mind, blower, whatever. So Bree's mom comes in, and you're like, Bree's mom. I want Bree's mom on the next Bachelor, Bachelorette. Like, I know, listen, I understand they're promoting for a senior Bachelor. I don't think Bree's mom is a senior by any standard. She's a year older or younger than me. But that's the type of woman I want to see on the Bachelor or Bachelorette. I want to see Bree's mom. Bree's mom was hot. She's got those pleather pants. She had the white shirt that you would wear to a paint class. I was sitting there being like, yeah, Bree, you're hot, but like, get out of here. Let's look at the mom. Mom brought it. Bree's friend, also cute, but I'm just saying, the mom asked great question. It was very like single mother, where she was like asking kind of the dad questions that were getting asked before. Do you love her? Are you falling in love with my daughter? He's like, I could maybe be seeing myself falling for such a thing. Maybe if love were to exist on this planet. He avoids again. We go to the next date, Serena P. Serena P, we know, has been cool to Matt. She's been a little bit of a stiff arm. Last date, they did a tantric yoga date. She didn't seem into it. He kind of pushed for it. He pushed for her to stay. She stays around. They go on a date. What did they do? They went to Canada Day. She took him on a tour of Canada inside of a schoolroom, and they basically stared at a map, and they, he had some poutine. I can't believe that they eat no food and then they bring out poutine. Like, if that's me, I'm like, let me start with like a nibble of cheese. You don't bring out a big can of beans when I'm on an empty stomach, because I would be running to the bathroom right away. Like, they went straight to poutine. I would look, if they brought out poutine, if they took off that thing, and I would be like, what are we doing? I'd be looking at the producers like, are you trying to take a 20-minute break? Because I'm going to need to go use the bathroom if this is going to happen. He takes a little bite. They enjoy the Canada Day. Then they go to her family. Serena's family seems genuinely nice. They seem the most Canadian I've ever seen. I mean, they could have been dressed in Mountie clothing. I got to say, the sister, very hot, bringing it. I mean, Bree's hot. The sister brought it. So they're all hot. But I'm saying, it's always interesting when you see the new sister show up to the show and, like, your boyfriend is probably on the couch being like, oh, yeah, she seems cool. It's like, yeah, she seems fucking cool. So we watched that part. The family seems nice, but the date ended very specifically. Bree's sister gives it away, or Serena P's sister gives it away. On the way out, Matt's saying goodbye. Serena P's sister goes, good luck with everything. You don't say good luck with everything to someone you think you're going to be seeing again. If she thought she'd be seeing him again, it wouldn't be good luck with whatever you're doing after this show is over. That's the way she said it. I knew right there, Serena's out. Not going to happen. We leave the date. Matt goes to the woods. They've made an IKEA living room out in the woods for him and Chris Harrison to hang out. I think this is where Chris has been exiled to since he got canceled. And they have a big talk, and Matt and him are like, Chris basically is like, does anyone not know? And Serena's name comes up, and Matt decides to go talk to Serena. Serena sits with Matt and says, you're not my person. The way this conversation went, it felt like Matt was a little bit relieved to not be in the position of dumping someone. That's what it felt like to me. It feels like Tyler C. told Matt, don't be the bad guy. Look at me. Look at how successful I am. Hannah B. dumped me, and then I went off into the arms of every woman in the world, and I was a hero because I handled it like a gentleman. And I think that's what Matt James is trying to do. Matt James, you could almost see the grin on his face. He's like, you're not my person. He's like, okay, look upset. Look like you've been dumped. Look like this is the worst thing that's ever going to happen. Look like you don't have 1,000 DMs waiting for you. That's kind of how he played it off. And then he starts pushing out tears, and Serena P's gone. She's crying more than him. We come back to the rose ceremony, and there's 3 roses out. Now, this is what I don't understand. There's 3 roses out. That means he is given the choice to not give some out. The next week is Fantasy Suites. Fantasy Suites, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but the idea is that you get to spend a night with each of the women. It is interesting to me that a girl sends herself home, he has 3 roses, and he just gives them to all 3. He's like, so next week I'll be getting a night with each of you, so all 3 shall receive the rose. Like, if I was one of those 3 women, wouldn't you go, hey, was Serena who you were going to kick out anyways? Like, which one of us was 4th if Serena had stayed? Were you upset? Like, I would have more questions. I know it's a TV show. I know we have to live in the land of the show. But, like, wouldn't you have more questions? Like, hey, was this 1, 2, 3 the same 1, 2, 3 if Serena had stayed? Like, I would want to know. If I'm one of the dads, I'm showing up being like, hey, I just want to know what was going to happen if Serena had stayed through the rose ceremony. Who else would have been? Because at this point, this is a very important week where we're going from, okay, we've never spent a night together, to there's a chance we share a bed together. So it's like, who was that fourth woman had Serena stay? Just something to think about, something to chew on. Let's give out some awards. The Batches is where I give out roses to my favorite characters and divorce papers to my least favorite characters. Let's start with the roses. The first rose is going to go to Serena P. I think what Serena P did tonight is one of the harder things to do. She said it to her mom. She goes, and she said it to her sister. She goes, he checks all the boxes, but he isn't my person. That is hard. And you got to give credit where credit is due. She says, this is a great guy, but he's not my guy. That takes confidence. That takes spunk. That takes vulnerability. That takes having taste. I always appreciate when someone has taste. Serena P has taste. The next rose goes to Serena's sister. Serena's sister. Sometimes a family member shows up. We make jokes. Serena's sister came on and was like, I am bringing it. I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to look nice. I'm going to get my 1,000 Instagram followers out of this. I think she might have. Let's go to the last one. Bree's mom. Bree's mom made a case for me as the next Bachelorette. I think we would all love to watch a Bree's mom season of The Bachelorette. How great would that be? To watch Bree's mom be this person. Have Bree come in for the hometown. Have her pursued. I don't know what her status is. I think she just had a baby, so she might have someone in her life already. But if she doesn't, I'm sitting there going, this is a beautiful woman, and she's hot, and she's cool, and she was asking all these great questions. Why not make her the next Bachelorette? Let's give out some divorce papers. The first divorce paper is going to go to the producers. The producers of the show needed to switch up the hometown dates. At the end of Michelle's date, we got a great game of basketball that was actually fun to watch. The families should have been on all parts of the date. They should have been off-roading. They should have been skydiving. I want to see the mom get a little weirded out when she has to go up in a plane and jump out of it. I want to see the dad play, get a little too competitive during a game of pickup hoops and pull his hip. I want to see that on the hometowns. I don't want to see dad being like, so you'll be talking to my daughter, huh? No! Let's see them in the wild, in real life. Let's see them relate to each other and then get showered up and we can do the house stuff. It would have livened up the dates had the families been on the first part of the date as well as the second part of the date. The next divorce paper go to the dads. The dads never ask a follow-up question. The dads never they always ask the first good question. They go, so how do you fall in love with my daughter along with 3 other women? And then he answers and he's like, I could be falling for her and I understand where you're coming from. Where's the second question? Where's with them going, so have you made out with all of them? Are you making out with my daughter and all these other three women too? So have you guys all connected? What's my daughter's middle name? Tell me my daughter's middle name. Tell me right now. You're going to get engaged to my daughter. You don't know her middle name? They never ask that question. The last divorce paper goes to Matt James. It has never been more clear that Matt James does not understand the severity of this situation. It feels like he thinks he's going to leave this show with a new girlfriend, maybe. It doesn't feel like he is taking this as seriously as some of the women. They've brought their families. They've brought their parents. I understand, he's on the show. He understands he's getting engaged. But I kind of see it in this date with the dads asking the questions, the moms asking the questions. And he never really had anything personal. It was always just very top level. And it feels like he's just trying to get out of this a good guy, which he is a good guy. I don't doubt that. But tonight was just, you got to be deeper with some of these people if you're going to go this way. And it doesn't feel like he's up for that. Let's hear your questions. We got some questions. Who do you think will be the final 2? I think it's Michelle and I think it's Rachel right now. Michelle and him have had a connection. Michelle and him have had the most real feeling connection throughout this whole thing. Even with the family, it felt right. It felt normal. Rachel, I've never really seen them talk about really anything. Bree seems like a great person, but I just don't see that match. But I think it's going to be Rachel and Michelle. We have another one. Which salad green is best and why is it arugula? Totally agree. It's arugula because arugula is a little spicy, a little salty. It doesn't feel like you're eating a lettuce. It feels like you're eating arugula is like the chip of lettuce. If you add a little oil, a little salt and pepper on a little arugula, it doesn't feel as lettucey as the other lettuces. We have another one. What do you think of Rachel being upset that Matt didn't ask her dad for her hand in marriage? Yeah, I thought that was I think that's a little ahead of yourself. You're skipping a lot of steps at that point. I don't think you go from I'm falling for you to, hey, can I talk to your dad? I'm thinking of asking you for a hand in marriage. And if anything, it showed that Rachel has watched this show. So, and she's kind of where I'm at, where I don't think Matt really sees that as something he would ever do. Like, I don't even think he thought of that. Other seasons, The Bachelor has done that to get ahead, to be like, hey, a marriage is coming. I want to ask these dads for their hand in marriage. And I think Matt's still stuck at what is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Near me. We got one more. Which Disney Channel original movie does that child tandem skydiver belong in? Maybe I missed it. I don't know if I know this one. And the Disney Channel original movies, I gotta say, it is truly amazing how well those did considering they were TV movies. Like how memorable they were. How we all just sat and watched them as if they were just normal movies. And some of them even went to the big screen. Let's do one more on topic. Do you think hometowns would be better if The Bachelor brought their family too? No, I don't think it's I think I want all the families to have their own time. But I want the families in motion. I want to see action. I want to see a dad have to put on a knee brace. I want to see a mom jump out of a plane. I want to see how they would interact at a lunch rather than a cocktail hour. Lunch hangouts are just different and more personal than wine on the couch hangouts. And I think we are being done a disservice when The Bachelor doesn't let the families on the first part of the dates as well as the second part of the dates. That's our show. Get subscribed to the channel. Comment, like. We'll be back next week. Boom.